Why should general education be reformed? Student learning should be at the center of all efforts to reform higher education. The content of student learning heavily influences the kinds of thinkers and citizens graduates will become. The surest way to improve the quality of education for the greatest number of students is through general education. This is because all students must complete their institution's general education requirements, which consist of about 30% of a 4-year education. These courses play a big role in shaping students' intellectual formation. The bad news is that general education programs at too many institutions are poorly designed and fail to give students a grounding in essential knowledge. The typical approach to general education is skills-focused and content-neutral. This means that the specific ideas and knowledge students actually learn is not a primary concern for most university administrators. To them, a course on U.S. history is just as good as a course on, say, the history of gender in Latin America, because both, in theory, teach students to analyze the past. Such programs do a disservice to students on multiple levels. From the standpoint of cognitive science, students need a sturdy backbone of knowledge in order to learn. Skills are not developed in the abstract. They are the product of students building a store of connected background knowledge. A random accumulation of facts will not give students the firm foundation they need for effective learning. An unstructured program also produces personal and cultural consequences. It enables faculty to require overtly ideological or excessively narrow courses, and the lack of structure leads students to make poor choices when selecting their coursework. But general education programs also present an opportunity. When properly designed, general education is an ideal time to give students a rich foundation of knowledge they can build on for the rest of their lives. A program emphasizing shared essential knowledge would require students to take broad survey courses in core fields such as history, literature, philosophy, civics, and science. It would help them build a mental timeline of their civilization's key events and the development of its central ideas, giving them wisdom and perspective when confronting contemporary issues. Students would learn to appreciate how the various branches of knowledge are connected or intimately united, as described by John Henry Newman. Such a coherent and culturally rich education would enable students to become rigorous thinkers and wise citizens prepared to lead. Colleges and universities must not miss this opportunity. True general education reform is possible and should be at the top of their priority list. We know why it's important to reform general education. The next question is, how? Here are a few concrete steps that university leaders and policymakers should take to get started. Universities should pass a university-wide policy adopting a liberal arts-focused general education curriculum. The curriculum should give students a coherent and meaningful education in the history, works, and civic culture of the West, particularly of the United States. Limit the number of courses that can be counted toward general education requirements. Eliminate and prohibit diversity, equity, and inclusion or critical race theory-based general education requirements. Policymakers should adopt and implement legislation based on the General Education Act. Include a course on American history or government in the general education programs of public institutions. Prohibit mandatory diversity, equity, and inclusion or critical race theory-based general education requirements.